A quick roundup of global developments only on StratNews Global. Secretary of State Antony Blinken arrived in Kyiv on Tuesday in the first visit by a senior US official since Congress passed a long-delayed $61 billion military aid package for the country last month. The previously undisclosed trip aims to show US solidarity with Ukraine as it struggles to fend off heavy Russian bombardment on its northeastern border. Blinken, who arrived in Kyiv by train, will reassure Ukrainian officials, including President Volodymyr Zelensky, of enduring US support. South African President Cyril Ramaphosa is set to sign into law a national health bill that aims to provide universal coverage to South Africans. The signing of the National Health Insurance Bill will come just before the May 29 national election that could test the African National Congress's 30-year rule. The bill, which will be implemented in stages at a cost of billions of dollars, received Ramaphosa's approval after it was passed by lawmakers last year. But concerns remain over whether the struggling public system is ready to implement such an ambitious bill.
For NHI to work, we need more doctors on the floor. One, we need more nurses on the floor. We need porters. We need consumables, we need equipment, we need better facilities, we need better buildings, we need more space.
New Caledonia has mobilized security forces, closed its international airport, and imposed a curfew in the capital after violent protests. Protests and violence erupted ahead of a debate in the French National Assembly on changes to the new Caledonian constitution. The proposed changes would allow more French residents to vote in New Caledonia elections, which independence supporters fear will dilute the votes of indigenous Kanak people. The French High Commission said there were significant disturbances in the capital, Nomia, and surrounding townships, and numerous buildings have been damaged. Over 30 people have been arrested. So far, 36 people had been arrested. Hong Kong Chief Executive John Lee has sought full information from British authorities on the arrests of 3 men, including a manager at a Hong Kong government office in the UK. The trio has been charged with offences under Britain's National Security Act for assisting Hong Kong's Foreign Intelligence Service. Any attempt to make unwarranted allegations against the Hong Kong SAR government is unacceptable, Lee told reporters.
We have seriously demanded the UK side to fairly handle the matter. It effectively protects the legitimate rights and interests of the Hong Kong Economic and Trade Office manager who was alleged to be involved, and ensure that the normal work of the ETO is not affected. Any attempt to make unwarranted allegation against the Hong Kong SL government is unacceptable.
US crews in Baltimore have set off a controlled explosion to remove a portion of the collapsed Francis Scott Key Bridge from the bow of the massive container ship that toppled the span in March. The explosion broke the bridge's truss into small sections, enabling salvage crews to use cranes and barges to haul away the twisted metal wreckage. On the 26th of March, a container ship lost power and crashed into the bridge. 6 construction workers were killed. The incident initially halted traffic at the port of Baltimore, which ranks first in the US in several cargo categories. Russian Volunteer Corps, a Ukrainian-backed paramilitary group, has released a video which it said showed its armored personnel carrier firing at Russian positions in Ukraine's Kyiv. The group is said to be made up of Russians opposed to the Kremlin. Together with 2 other armed groups fighting Putin, it has launched cross-border incursions from Ukraine into Russia in the past. Meanwhile, Russia has pressed its ground assault into the north of Kyiv region, attacking new areas with small groups to try to widen the front and stretch Ukrainian forces, the regional governor said. Turkish President Erdogan has said more than 1,000 members of the Palestinian militant group Hamas are being treated in hospitals across Turkey, reiterating his stance that Hamas was a resistance movement. Speaking at a press conference in Ankara after talks with the Greek Prime Minister, Erdogan also said he was saddened by the Greek view that deems Hamas a terrorist organization. Last month, Erdogan hosted Hamas chief Ismail Haniyeh and a delegation from Hamas in Istanbul. Donald Trump's former fixer Michael Cohen has told jurors that the Republican presidential candidate personally signed off on a hush money payment to a porn star to bury her story about an alleged sexual encounter before it could derail his 2016 campaign. Cohen said Trump told him to figure out the best way of paying adult film actress Stormy Daniels $130,000 to stay quiet about the alleged 2006 encounter. The payment is at the center of the first trial of a former US president, which has entered its fifth week in New York State Criminal Court in Manhattan. Cohen, once one of Trump's most loyal lieutenants, is now the prosecution's star witness. Melinda Gates is stepping down as co-chair of the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, one of the world's biggest private charitable foundations that she co-founded with her former spouse more than 20 years ago. Bill and Melinda Gates filed for divorce in 2021 after 27 years of marriage, but had pledged to continue their philanthropic work together. Under the terms of my agreement with Bill, in leaving the foundation, I will have an additional $12.5 billion to commit to my work on behalf of women and families, Melinda Gates said on a post on X. Her last day at the foundation will be June 7. A former economy minister of Kazakhstan has been sentenced to 24 years in prison for murdering his wife. His trial, which has been broadcasted live over the past 7 weeks, has been widely regarded as an attempt by authorities to send a message that members of the elite are no longer above the law. CCTV footage played during the trial showed the minister repeatedly punching and kicking his wife and dragging her by her hair into a room where she died later. The case has helped rally public support for a law criminalizing domestic violence, which was passed last month. Government data shows that 1 in 6 women in Kazakhstan has experienced violence by a male partner.